The following episode contains footage that was originally recorded at a prior hour. Viewer discretion is not advised. Feel free to view this episode however you want to. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, I have to say, we are delayed yet again. Things are getting far crazier around here. My goodness. Who knows when it'll lighten up. But wishfully, this will probably be the final delay. I don't expect it to get any worse than it already is. So let's get things started, shall we? So, as you might know, Mark Gordon, who you better know as Happasan on here, or Sinosu on the forums, he's the main developer for the website for the Sonic Hacking Contest. And in the case of Sonic Hacking Contest XIII and the Sega Homebrew Competition, he had to make a completely new site so that both contests could be held on the same website without having to go from site to site and use up more bandwidth and data than is absolutely necessary. This new incarnation of the site has enhanced servers. It'll allow more people to come in and watch the streams. It'll basically prevent overload, as how the 2013 and 14 contest sites had issues with. Not necessarily much of the 2014 contest, because they already had a backup plan by moving everything to Sonic Research. But the 2013 contest, my goodness, I remember right off the bat, the site crashed on day one because so many people went to download and do streams. So I'm at least glad that they were able to balance things out. This year, however, is rather unique in the regard that although we have two contests running in conjunction with each other on the same website, at the same time, Mark has had issues in his personal life because he works in web development, ironically enough. So his development of the SHC website has been massively postponed due to that, meaning that he's only really able to do this when he's off of work. So sadly, we don't really have anybody to help him out, unless if some people are actually willing to assist, but I'm not sure as to how that will all go down. But as a result, Sonic Hacking Contest XIII and the Sega Homebrew Competition had to be delayed on plentiful occasions, at least 2 times now, due to this. And now, let me give you the rundown of how the contest was supposed to go. Originally, it was supposed to begin this month, in August. You would have had until August 2 to make submissions, August 9 to update those submissions, and the contest would take place from the 24th to the 30th. Because of the delays that we've had at hand, September would have ended up becoming the main month for the contest, in which September 6th was the new deadline, yet until September 13 to update your entries, and the contest would take place from the 21st to the 27th, respectively. This new delay forces us to have the contest in October, and I've got a good feeling that most developers that are working on some of their more optimal hacks, for example, the definitive edition of Sonic 1 Megamix, not to be confused with Sonic the Hedgehog Megamix, entirely new entity now, Cybernetic Outbreak, Jester's Challenge 2, and a whole bunch of other hacks that are probably going to be there. I've got a feeling that October will definitely be the best month for this. So you've got until October 4. October 4 will be your date for finalizing your submissions, at least to make sure that they're in. You have until the 11th to finalize any updates that you must, or bug fixes. And then the contest this time around will take place from the 19th to the 25th. Fair enough to admit, I think that will work. All that I hope be that Mark is able to get the site up and running, because I won't lie, our media panel will be rather massive this time around. I'm not sure if it'll be as big as Sonic Hacking Contest XII was, but I think the Sonic Hacking Contest XIII and the Sega Homebrew Competition will definitely have a very big enough roster that we're probably going to need to back up. As always, like I had done so with Sonic Hacking Contest XII, assuming that I still have enough data on my computer left in order to actually do it, I will be doing Sonic Hacking Contest XIII done quick in November. And yes, you might question, why the done quick? Well, to be truthful, I felt that doing some speed runs of some of the ROM hacks, at least with week 1 strats. When I say week 1 strats, I mean I don't know what I'm going to be coming into. I'm completely playing the new builds blind. So as a result, expect me to get into this with some difficulty here and there. I don't expect it to be too bad, but if it ends up becoming a bit rowdy, I'll have to select the best titles of the contest and then just do those respectively. I don't expect to do more than I have to. I won't bite off more than I can chew, basically. But whether or not Sonic Hacking Contest XIII done quick will actually be utmost prosperous or just a complete and utter flop, that all depends on not just my performance quality, but also how I present it. Because I remember last year when I did Sonic Hacking Contest XII done quick, there was a small audience that watched it, and they liked what they saw. The only issue that they mostly had was, well, mind you, this was at a time where I had issues with both bit rates and resampling. So whenever I was doing videos, like sometimes when you would enable force resample on a 60 FPS video, I learned now that you're not supposed to do resampling on a 60 FPS video. What you're supposed to do is have the video in 30 frames a second. If you have a video in 60 frames a second, what you would then do is enable the resample, so then you could do in-frame blending. And that's the reason why I will be able to handle this year's video quality with ease. It might not be in 720p because, again, I don't have a lot of data on my computer. And I'm still using my old E-machines, ET1331G-07W. Got it. Man, I always forget the model number. Runs on AMD Athlon 2x2, only has 4 GB of RAM, and an NVIDIA Enforce 430 graphics card, which by today's standards crashes the computer a lot when you run a Sony Vegas 13. So, at this point in time, I don't know exactly how I'll be able to handle it, but granted, I'll probably be able to get this done if my computer's able to keep up with me, or at least what I'm attempting to go with here. If I end up getting a new computer, expect the speedrun marathon to be in 720p. But granted, compared to Sonic Hacking Contest XII done quick, the quality level will definitely be higher. You'll definitely have your much bigger screen resolution, as most people complained about. It'll be easier to view. But one of the other issues I had also been talked to about, especially on SSRG, where I had primarily shared it outside of Facebook and YouTube, was that one of the issues was the matter regarding no commentary. Okay, let me flat out admit this, because I was actually kind of surprised that some people would bring this up, but I knew that no commentary would have been the big issue of this. This was not done live. Yeah, contrary to popular belief, Sonic Hacking Contest XII done quick was not done live. And that was one of the reasons why I had done Sonic Hacking Contest XII done quick in the way that I had, because I felt that just doing the speed runs, converting the video files, and then slapping them into Sony Vegas 13 was the best way to go. And to be truthful, it was. That was the best way to do things, and I'm fortunate that I had done so, because talking for 2 hours straight would have done a massive number on me, and I'm quite surprised that I hadn't done commentary for it. Originally it was planned, but again, I was kind of on a deadline of my own, because I intended to have it released on September 7, but what ended up happening, I don't know if I moved it to the 9 for the 11th. Either way, it came out a few days later than it was supposed to, due to saving issues. Because I don't know what the heck happened. I think it was actually an issue with the Biggs Fishing Derby demonstration run, where I guess either the raw file or the timer had just phased out of commission. So yeah, I had to redo it. It took over 60 hours to save that, by the way. Never again. Although, unfortunately, I'll have to be subject to that. Oh my goodness. Then again, that was a 60 FPS video. If it was in 30 FPS, it would have taken only 30 hours. But will I be adding commentary in the Sonic Hacking Contest 13 done quick? It's one of those scenarios where I will use my trademark line. Maybe, probably not. We don't know. I honestly don't know. Because, unfortunately, this time around, everybody's busy. Like, I can't simply, like, call up Ash, Gabriel, Chuck, Amanda, Doug, Luna, Kelsey, Shadya, Amber, Dan, Troy, or Kayla to just come over here and just speedrun a game for us. They're all busy with their own matters, so I can't call up any of the head and co-head administrators. I'm kind of running this one alone, and that's a depressing thing. Don't get me wrong, it was easy to do at Hacking Contest 12, but 13 has so many good ROM hacks. And I've got a bad feeling that there will be too much to record, that I don't know if I'll have a disk overload, or I'll have to wipe my hard drive just in order to save certain things. Either way, I'm kind of in a standstill. I don't know what to do. But who knows? Perhaps a shocking twist of fate will happen where I get a new computer in time just for Hacking Contest 13 done quick. Or anything else that I've got in store. Trust me, if I had a better computer, then chances are I probably would have had more content on here this year than I actually did. But that's another story for another time though, isn't it? Of course, though, the biggest change this year would probably definitely be the Homebrew Competition. And I'm glad the Super Egg had conducted this in accordance with, or in association with Laszlo Silas and a few others. Because, to be truthful, I really don't view these contests going perfectly without Sega Homebrew being the major topic. Because I would have thought there would have been a Sega Homebrew competition long ago. And I'm kind of surprised that we're getting it now rather than earlier, because this was long overdue. Because, to be truthful, Sega Homebrew is something that we don't usually talk about. Because one of the things about public domain games on the Genesis and Mega Drive are often rare to find, at least during the late 1990s and early 2000s. Nowadays, you've got Sonic the Hedgehog 32X by I forgot who did that. You've got Project MD by Seek the Hedgehog and Org 866. You've got that one Pringles game. My goodness, that Pringles platformer was interesting. I need to record that sometime. There's a lot of things that you can do with the Genesis and Mega Drive that, unfortunately, we are subject to not being able to have those on a normal basis. And wishfully, with this homebrew competition, it'll open us up to the other side of Sega ROM making life, really. Because not only is it making your own Sega Genesis videos or your own homebrew titles, it's also making ROM hacks of other popular games that aren't Sonic related. MIAA Women's Hockey 2015, for example, a ROM hack of NHL 94. There are some other homebrew developments that I think will probably go into SHC as well. Like, apparently somebody is doing a Sonic in Mario Kart Mega Drive homebrew port alongside that of an F-Zero port. And I've got a good feeling that will probably go home with something. That definitely is a majorly good tech demo. If you haven't seen it yet, look it up. You definitely will be able to love what you view from it. I'll probably have a link to it in the description anyway. And I could go on for days about this contest. I can go on for days about Sega Homebrew. There's just so much I could discuss that it could be we could be here for hours. That's probably the best way to put it. There's no easy way to put the Sega Homebrew is definitely revolutionary, and definitely debatably one of the best things that has ever happened to this scene. Why else would we be having modern games for a Generation 4 console? Not including the Sega CD and 32X, mind you. The SCD and 32X are a completely different beast in and of themselves. However, there will be some Mega CD and 32X entries this year. I'm not sure as to what new Sega CD installments will be present, but we do have Cybernetic Outbreak, which is a Genesis to 32X conversion running on the Sonic 3 disassembly, and that will definitely be interesting to view. I don't know if the definitive edition of Sonic 1 Megamix will be present, because according to Stealth, it'll probably take 2 months to completely finish it, but he talked about that post like in early August, so I've got a good feeling that he'll probably get it done by November. At the very earliest, if he's releasing that version this year, that will be our quote-unquote Sonic Megamix 10th anniversary special, so to speak. The new version of Sonic the Hedgehog Megamix, which will now be running on Sonic 3 bug fixes and whatnot, I don't expect that to be ready until maybe the 2020s at the earliest. So do stay tuned for that one. I don't know how both games will be handled, but we already know that we're getting our definitive edition of 1 Megamix. So the other Sonic Megamix will be a completely different entity. I don't expect it to be a Hacking Contest XIII unless if it's like a tech demo or something. But who knows? Stealth might have something up his sleeve that not even we're being informed of. But hey, I'm at least glad that he's more public with the project. But that's another story for another time. Going back to this delay, however, would I say it's worth it? Absolutely. It's absolutely worth it because there are a lot of people that are just taking a lot of their time to work on, like, just... I don't even know how to put it, because, like, Marky Jester, he's working on his own thing right now. Not just Jester's Challenge 2. But I'll be flat out truthful. Whatever that, dang, I don't even remember the name of it. All I know is that its initials are GPZ. I don't think it's like Grand Plaza Zone. It's some kind of an interesting name. I'll leave a tech demo video of it down in the description so that you know what I'm talking about. If you took a look at the artwork that he's made of it, my goodness, he takes hours and hours just to get that looking like a masterpiece. You know, there aren't a lot of extremely good sprite artists out there, so I have to praise Marky for what he's been doing all these years. I've been watching his stuff since like 2007, 2008. Actually, no, 2008. Because I remember I was in a Lynn Public Library one day just looking at ROM hacks of Sonic 1. I found the Super Peel-Out hack, which was originally called Sonic MD. Of all names sacred. It featured Lakeside Paradise Zone, Back to Marble Zone, some pinball stage that wasn't fully developed. Secret Ocean Zone. My goodness, that's where we got to see the needle spin for the first time, which was then moved to Mobius Adventures. Looking at what he's done over the years, I'm just astounded at what he can do now. He has always been one of the most masterful creators of Sonic ROM hacks over the years, and I've got a good feeling he'll probably come home with the Hidden Palace trophy this year. If not, the Lava Reef, not the Lava Reef, the Wood Zone or Dust Hill Zone trophies. Actually, no, he probably could get the Lava Reef Zone trophy. He makes lovely wait, is Lava Reef Zone for layout? Honestly, forget. It's either for layout or... No, DA Gardens for music. I'll have to look through that later on once I can tell you the list of ROM hacks that we'll be seeing, but that's another story for another time, though, isn't it? Vadi and Icaria for Cybernetic Outbreak. I've got an extremely good feeling that he'll definitely get first, second, or third place as well. That ROM hack's been worked on since 2006. You can tell that this definitely is a big one. I don't know how that one will go, but I've got a good feeling that given the amount of time he's put into it, it will be a completely different feel for Sonic 3 players. That's a guarantee. I mean, if you've already seen the demo footage, again, I'll link some of the stuff in the description, you would be shocked by how much you can make a boss fight feel. Oh man, Mecha Sonic Mark II, might I say. It's not the same fight anymore. It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel like you're playing the original Sonic 3. It's like you're playing Sonic 3 in the way that it was supposed to be. Extremely hard. But then again, these folks, we're not Japanese developers here, but we're delivering Japanese quality and difficulty. That is in and of itself a very major milestone, and I have to praise Vadi and Gadia for that. Whew, that will be a masterpiece to watch, I'm sure. Absolutely sure. At this point, however, I think I've gone on too much of a tangent, as I already have. But I guess I could finish up with the way that MIAA Women's Hockey 2015 will be worked on. Because I've got Volume 1 done. Volume 1 is in the Revision C state. Revision 0C. The reason why I'm not calling it Revision 1 is because I'm waiting for the NHL94.com forum to get an NHL 94 disassembly before I can actually fully overhaul the game. But that's another story for another time. That won't happen for a while. What I can tell you, however, about the way that NHL 94 ROM hacking has become, looking at everything that I've seen since March, ever since I joined the forum, I don't know how to put it. It's a completely different entity, and it's a completely different structure than it used to be. And even MIAA 2015 has everything that has been presented so far on the forum. Like you've got the sprite patch, which delivers the little trapezoid behind the goalie net, as well as the commentators in the background and the judges. You've even got the coaches over at the player benches. It's a little attention to detail that I like. You have Japanese text for hot and cold signs, at Ron Barr's screen. You've also got newly designed text. You've got lovely shiny banners, kind of like the Super Famicom versions, except not that shiny. The letters are shiny, however, and they're in Japanese too. The difficulty has been expressively increased. You've got the 6-button goalie patch, which I'm very glad that I had implemented, because I feel that 6-button support for NHL 94 was absolutely necessary. So I'm kind of glad I brought that in. I have to give credit to Kaneda on that one. What else? Smazoma. I'm really glad that his patches really work out. Because the weight scale in the game, if you decrease the year number, you can make the players either go faster or slower. Don't ever set the weight scale too high, because what will end up happening is that the players will get too heavy and too slow for comfort. I noticed that when I had set it to 2015, so that's why I kept the weight scale for the game at 1994. Yeah, why not keep it at the original scale? Because it really makes the game that much more bearable and far faster than it would have been in other scenarios. You also have the hot and cold bug fix, which allows you to have accurate stats, but also the stats of each player randomized per game. So you might want to edit your lines every now and then if you're not one for using automatic changes. And, there's basically a whole bunch of other things I could talk about, but these are basically the basics. Aside from the current graphical and now musical overhaul that I'm giving the game, I've got a good feeling that this title will pretty much come home with something. I don't know what it will come home with. I mean, I'm basically EA Sports this year. I think that will probably be my ongoing gag with the Sega Homebrew Competition every single year. I'll probably come with like 4 games for 1 to 4 games, or 1 to 5 this year in this case, for sports, just to surprise the people and give them an experience in replaying old hockey games, just to have themselves smile. That, and also the fact that this is also the first ROM hack to ever feature an all-women's hockey league. I think that's also the most revolutionary thing here, because the NHL 94 forum hasn't had that up to now, and I don't think EA Sports has ever done a women's hockey game to my knowledge anyway. So it's kind of a good thing that I'm promoting some of the best in the Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletics Association. Because, you've got Carolyn McKinnon, you've got Kristen McCarthy, you've got Brittany McPherson, Amanda Conway, and a whole bunch of other people. I could go on for days about these folks. They're really great people to know, and if you have never watched them in a hockey game, if you've never seen them out on the ice, I recommend you to give them a watch. Some folks now have been moved to the JWHL, the Junior Women's Hockey League, and I'll be working on a Junior Women's Hockey League ROM hack series once I'm done with MIAA 2015, at least for this year, because I just want to make sure that you guys know this before I'm going into the JWHL games. I have to work on a 2-on-2 ROM, obviously, up close and personal. That will happen after Volume 5. You've got the 6-on-6, the Blitz Tour, which will be based for more fast-paced gaming with 6 players on either side, not including the goalies. The goalies are completely gone. It's empty net 6-on-6 fighting. And then you've got the Tournament Edition ROM, the Super 8 at TD Bank North Garden. Basically, I'll take the top 16 teams from both Division 1 and 2 and give them postseason stats so that they're far stronger than they actually were in the original game. So Reading, for example, which has a 93 for its team rating, starring Ali O'Leary and a few other players, their team will probably be booted up to a 97 because they ended up winning this year's tournament, at least for Division 1. Falmouth will go, I think Falmouth is a 93 as well, if they're not a 90 or 91. And I think they're probably a 92. And I'll boot them up to a 97 because they won a Division 2 conference. I think they'll also keep their stats the same when I do Volume 3, which will basically pit the top 8 of Division 1 with the top 8 of Division 2, and that will definitely be a competition worth watching. That I probably will get done either by November or December. It all depends on how I get Sonic Hacking Contest XIII Done Quick finished. But, again, the story for another time. I don't expect this to go longer than it has to. Once that's all done, however, 2016, I will dedicate myself to working on Junior Women's Hockey League games. At least for 2010 to 2016. Now, mind you, the JWHL is like the, how do you call it? Nippon Professional Baseball in Japan. NPB only has like 10 to 12 teams. The JWHL also had 12 teams, but as of 2015, they skimmed it down to 10. And that was because a few teams had to leave, either due to licensing issues, or maybe it was because of a professional matter regarding the way that they could schedule, or maybe it was something else, like they got bought out by somebody. Who knows what it was. Either way, the first 2 JWHL games that I will be working on will be 2010 to 2012 for the first title, and 2012 to 2014. 3 and 4 will be the 2015 and 2016 seasons respectively, and because they will constantly be using the same teams, I will never have to change their logos, nor will I have to change their organ tracks or whatever. It'll always be the same experience, just with new teams and rosters. And that will definitely be a lovely sight, especially with the star of the game. I will announce who that will be at a better point in time. It'll be in a very lovely trailer. Let's just say that. Starring somebody from MIAA 2015, by the way. I think that'll give you a hint. Other than that, however, I've got a lot of stuff on my back burner, and I've got a lot of stuff on my backlog. But guaranteed, I'll have my stuff done. I'll expect you folks to have your stuff done for SHC as well. Be sure to have it done by October, and I'll make sure to have my stuff done by October, and we'll all have a big, gay, happy time. Whenever I use the term gay, by the way, just to clarify, I mean happy. I'm one of those people that don't use the term gay under homosexual. I don't know. I grew up in a society where gay used to mean happy, because I used to watch the Flintstones. We'll have a gay old time. I know I'm not really singing at my best. Trust me, I sing far better when I am not bored. Or when I'm doing a commentary at that. I need to be musically motivated to actually sing good. That's how I talk, or that's how I sing, really. But yeah. As a guy who grew up watching the Flintstones, remembering that gay used to mean happy, it just kind of feels weird that I now have to listen to it being used as homosexual. But hey, somebody decided to use that term back in the 60s, or maybe it was the 50s or earlier. But I won't judge. Each and every one to their own, right? Or something around that kind of phrase. Either way, it'll be a lovable contest. Trust me. Okay, now I can finish this audio log up. I think I've said everything that I have to, and to be truthful, I honestly can't wait for October. We've got a lot of stuff that will be going on, and I won't lie. If I'm stuck with my current computer rig by that point in time, if I'm still around, trust me, it will be a crazy time for me, but I will try to survive. I've survived far worse. And who knows, maybe I could get a new rig by the time I'm done with this this year. Because I'll be truthful with you, I'll be flat out truthful. It's not easy living with a computer from 2009 in the modern day. But I'm at least glad I can still create content with it. That is the shocker. Because I would have thought I've been a goner many years back. I would have thought I've been done with this computer in 2013, 14, 2012 at the worst. But no, it's still living on. It's still praising me for keeping it around. So it'll kind of be a shame to say thank you and good night for the E-Machine's ET1331G-07W. My goodness. Who knows? Maybe I'll get another computer, maybe a very strong desktop from BJ's. Maybe I could win the lottery and then purchase the Dell Precision Tower T7910 and mobile M6800 with optimized hardware. Who knows? Who knows where this could go? Either way, I am extremely happy that I could say that I spent my time with this computer and that I've been able to do the content that I've been doing with the folks that have been watching this stuff all the way up to now. Whether or not I'll still be having my content around by means of using the computer I'm currently using, that'll be a debatable factor, but who knows? Maybe I'll be finished with it by this year. Maybe I'll have a new computer. Either way, there's a lot on the horizon. I just don't know when everything will go down. I don't know when everything will begin, basically. All that I know is that there's a lot of good stuff about to come. And with Sonic Hacking Contest XIII being the start of all of that, I think I'm in pretty good odds. I think we're all in pretty good odds, actually. Take the moment while you can, kids. This truly will be a really strong and memorable memory for all of us. I was going to say rememorable. How is something rememberable? What, are you supposed to have something as memorable and then remember the remembering of the memorable event? Oh man, I could probably have like a 30-second stand-up skit about that. You know, I never thought of that. Stand-up routines. What's the deal with stand-up routines? You just go on a stage and then talk for a few minutes and you have people laugh at you. Who knows if they're laughing at your jokes? Maybe they're laughing because you're talking. Nah. I can't pull off a good Seinfeld. At least not this time. I always loved watching Seinfeld. Who knows, maybe I might do a full commentary of the entire series. Oh, that would be some crazy stuff, wouldn't it? Who knows, I might actually have that planned. Don't be surprised. If we ever get Seinfeld available on a site or a server or a streaming company that I could just watch it full on without lag and just commentate over it. Oh, who knows? I'll probably get Doug and Kelsey to join me. I'll probably get Gabriel, Chuck, Ashley, Amanda, and everybody else in the meanwhile. Dan, Troy, Kayla, Jaja, Amber, you name it. Dana. So many people to remember. So many things to do, so little time. What am I saying? I've got all the time in the world. Heck, I took all the time in the world to make this commentary, didn't I? Either way, I'm having fun. I'm having fun talking about this. I'm having fun doing what I love doing best. Talking and entertaining the people in some way, shape, or form. But speaking of entertainment, I have to go back to creating the entertainment that keeps you folks satisfied. So next time we will be back with more of MIAA Women's Hockey 2015. That's a guarantee, kids. Until that time comes, though, I'm Roya Rockwood. I'm walking back into my room and I'm going to have this bowl of grape jello that I've got in my left arm. Until then, though, I'll be around. Talk to me.